This tutorial is going to show you how to make these flower cell phone holders. And for this project, you're going to need a 5mm hook, or in US standards an H hook, and also a 4mm hook or a size 6, or you can use a size F. The smaller needle is to make the flower and the button, so maybe you want a bigger flower or something, then use a bigger hook. But for the main part of the holder, you're going to be using a size H or a 5mm hook. And you're also going to need a tapestry needle to sew on the button and the flower. And you're going to need 2 different colors. I've got ginger and gold, in hopes that they show up on the camera better. I did this before, some of you might have seen, and I had really old equipment, and so I decided to go out and get myself a camera. And also the yarn I was using was like too dark or too bright, so I'm hoping that this is going to be good. And this tutorial is also going to be for more advanced. I'm not going to show you how to put the loop on or how to double crochet. So if you don't know how to do that, then you're going to need to learn to be able to do this project. Anyway, to start the project, you get your 5mm hook or your size H hook, and you chain 11. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, and you need to double crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook. And the 2 chains here will count as 1 stitch. So double crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook. And as you can see, there's 2 stitches here. You need a total of 10. So keep continuing to double crochet along the chain until you have a total of 10 stitches. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then you need to flip it around, and you'll be working now in the bottom of the stitches, starting with the stitch that you just previously put a double crochet in. Put another one in there, and then the next chain over, double crochet. You need to mirror basically what you just did on the other side, except on this side you need 9 instead of 10 double crochets. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay. Now, the 2 chained things that I showed you, are the 2 chain 2 that you skipped, go into the top of that stitch and slip stitch to complete the bottom. And you want to make sure that you're facing the work that's the good side, not the bad side. Okay, now you want to chain 1 and pull up, and in the next stitch double crochet. You're going to be wanting to cross stitch here. So now you need to go to the previous stitch that you slip stitched in and chained 1. You need to go back into that stitch. Can be kind of tough to find. And you need a double crochet to complete the cross stitch. That's your first one. Now you need to be careful when you're doing this. If you can see here, I've worked one into this one. It looks like it, you know, hasn't. You can easily just think you can work into that one, but as you can see here, it's actually got a stitch in it. So you'll need to skip this one and start your next cross stitch here. Just be careful that you don't work a cross stitch in a stitch that you've already worked already. And you just continue this around until you have a total of 10 cross stitches. Sorry, I got a hair that got stuck in there. Okay, it doesn't seem to want to come out for me. There we go. I'm sure if you've done a crochet enough, you've had that, and you have long hair, that is. You have little hairs that come into your work you need to pull out all the time. I've been crocheting since I was 5. My mom first started teaching me and my sister and my brother how to chain, and then it just continued on. Or like I continued it, my brothers and sisters gave up. Okay, so let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need one more. Okay, when you get to the end here, there's the previous beginning stitches. Go to the top and slip stitch again. Then chain 1, pull up, and repeat. And go all the way around again. Do that and I'll see you back in a second. Okay, I'm finishing my last cross stitch on the second. Oh, okay, I guess the third row because this is the first. My second row of cross stitches. You come to the end here and you see that there's this is the beginning. You have a little space here. Well, it's supposed to be there. Don't worry. Don't double crochet in it or anything, or try to fit in another cross stitch. Just skip over the space and slip stitch. Chain 1 and continue, because see, it becomes a hole that goes along with it. Just makes it all even. You only have a ridge like that. Kind of slight, but I think it kind of looks stylish, so not a big deal. Anyway, continue around. Again, doing the same thing. You need a total of 8 cross stitch rows. So continue on, and when you get to the end of your 8th cross stitch row, I'll see you back here. Okay, I'm just finishing the last cross stitch on my 8th row. I'm going to slip stitch as usual. Okay, the thing about the flap at the top, this flap here, you need to do it only on one side, obviously, and it needs to be centered so that it folds over without any excess on either side. And you need a total of 10 stitches to do that. To make sure it's going to be right, I can already tell you you're going to have to slip stitch one more time into the next stitch, and then count 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's good, it ends here. It doesn't end on the side here. Make the flap be all weird. So, you want to chain 3, flip your work over, and then start double crocheting. Let's cut out my string here. For a total of 10. The chain 3 counts as a stitch. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, that's 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay. Then you need to chain 3 again and do it again all along the top for a total of 3 double crochet rows to make the flap. And when you get that done, I'll meet you back here. Okay, when you get to the end and you've done your last double crochet, chain 1 and then fasten off your yarn. And then I like to get my smaller hook here and run the excess tail here through the stitches in front, not the back. Then pull just to make sure that string's not sticking out. And that's the base of the cell phone holder. Now you need to continue to use your 4mm hook or whatever hook you decided to use. And with the same color you were using before, to make the center of the flower, let me just move this out of the way. You need to chain 3 and then slip stitch into the first chain you made, make a loop, slip stitch, and then chain 1. Now you need to single crochet 11 times into the loop. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm working in my tail. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then slip stitch into the first stitch of the round. Chain 1 and fasten off. I used the same color here, but you could use a different color. Here I tried black just to see what it looked like. So, I mean, you can try different colors. Okay, now you need your secondary color. Put this to the side for now. Okay, so for the petals of the flowers, you need to slip stitch. Use the slip stitch into the second, to the stitch next to the one I joined, because I like to work in my tails as I go along. So I'm going to slip stitch there, and then chain 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then slip stitch into the next stitch, and chain 7. And just continue to do that all the way around. 6, 7. This is very similar to the way I make the flower purses that I make. That's where I got the idea for the flower. It's simple. Okay, I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 petals. I may have enough room here, yeah. You can leave it at 10, but I like to crowd it if I can. So I want to make another one, 2, 4, 6. Fit one more in there. The less of a gap, the better. Okay, when you get done with your last petal, chain 1 and leave a tail, because you're going to need to sew this on to the cell phone holder. Okay, to make the button, it's basically the same what you did before. You chain 3, slip stitch in the first chain, chain 1, then you want to single crochet 8 into the center of the loop. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and slip stitch into the first stitch and leave yourself a tail to sew your button on. I chain 1 and I cut. Okay, I'm going to get my tapestry needle here. There's a couple of techniques I like to use here for the button. I use the front side of the button, and I usually like to, okay, the idea behind this is go down to the second row from the top here, and you want to use between 2 cross stitches, because you're going to want to sew around the circle, leaving the outside free like this. See, the outside's free. To sew around the center. That way you have some grips to hold it. So what I like to do usually is I'll come up, because I don't like the way the thread sticks out in the side like that, so I'll come up near the center. I'm trying to find my camera here. Near the center, pull it up just to kind of make it more even when I start to sew in the center. Okay, so put it in between 2 stitches, and then you want to make sure that you capture this. I mean, when you're sewing, that you don't hit air. You need to stick to sewing it onto these 2 stitches back here. So I usually put my needle through, find a piece, move the flap back, and sew through. Make it tighter here. There we go. Then I find another piece, cell phone holder, put it near the center, pull it through. I usually go around only one time. I haven't seen a need yet to need to go around twice, but it's your project, so do what you feel like. I haven't had a button fall off yet, though. But I'm not a person that's constantly using my cell phone holder either. Okay, so when you made it around, what I do is I go through the back like this, pull it through, and then I make a knot like that. And I do that typically 3 times. Going through underneath what I already did before, because it gets tighter and tighter when you do that, and it keeps it from coming undone. And the last one, I just stick through and pull and cut. I don't usually tie any knots. Okay, next you need to get your flower. And I want to tell you about this button here. Usually, so there's 10 stitches up here. I just go in between. There's 5 on this side, 5 on this side. I just use that as a buttonhole, like that. And when I'm sewing the flower on, I should put my cell phone here so that I don't sew all the way to the back, you know, sew the thing closed. Now let's see if I can show the way I sew. Let me see if I can get a little closer here. Wow, I'm liking this new camera. Okay, so spread out your flower the way you want, making it look as nice as you can. A little excess, cut that off. Okay, so what I usually do to sew on the flower is I'll go in here and then go into the cell phone holder here, pull my chain over my needle, pull through, and make sure that you don't pull it too tight or it's gonna scrunch up your petal here. And then on the way back, I just go through the next chain. I come up to the center of the beginning stitch, not pulling too tightly, and that's how I sew them on. And adjust your flowers the best way you can. Constantly adjust them because you don't want spaces like that and then all bunched up on one side. So as you're sewing this on, constantly adjust. Just as you can, and don't pull too tightly because then you can adjust after you've sewn the petal. If you pull a little bit too tight, then unpull it. Okay? And there you go. That's the tutorial for how you make a cell phone holder. I hope that you could hear me okay and you could see everything okay. And this is my first real tutorial with my new camera. So hopefully it was good. I'd love to hear your comments and let me know if it helped you at all, or if you couldn't see something clearly or hear me clearly. I could really use the feedback. Well, thanks for watching, and I would love to see also your projects. If you make a cell phone holder from this tutorial, I'd love to see it. Well, thanks for watching.